understandable.
That today has not been the day that I was planning to have.
Well, it still sounds like it was exciting.
It was exciting.
Some new experiences.
It was exciting.
All right, so let's move on and let this be a mystery to anybody who's listening in right now.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, welcome to the pre-show. It's where we talk about what we're going to do on the show. There's 3 of us back. I don't know where Adam is.
Adam just falls off the face of the earth a few times.
Adam comes and goes as he pleases.
Oh, I'm cool with it.
He's on special assignment.
I like to hear from him. Yes, we always say that. News. We talked about Godzilla last week, but I figured I'd get Dave. I wanted to get Adam's. Anyway,
just got to take what you can get at this point, Gomer.
Marvel Summer Event got some more teasers, a couple of DC announcements that are kind of movie tie-ins, which is fun. That's weird.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Double dose of Daredevil news in the comics. Iron Man is popping the question. It's weird. And then Book of Boba Fett, which was
Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah, it was season 3, episode 1 of The Mandalorian, which was cool, but
yeah, a lot of people are not upset about that. We got some food news, a comic book on, a football one, and then peak fast food. So that'll be fun. No moment of destruction this week.
Can we talk about the Marvel Zombies Kickstarter real quick? Or during the show?
I don't have pictures of it, but yeah.
That could be what you've been doing.
Yeah, you can talk about anything you want in segment 1.
Okay.
And then top 3, we'll of course talk about the return of Saga. That's the big news week, but not my favorite book, but still. I have a rule where I don't put Saga. It's sort of retired from the top. It's like an every weeker. Every time it comes out, it'll be the one.
Well, I obviously do not have that rule. I constantly shuffle in the same books into my top 3.
Thank God Immortal Hulk ended.
Fuck
anything
you.
Else? Anything else you guys want to talk about? Y'all see the Halo TV show trailer?
Not yet.
I think I saw something. I know I saw.
No, it was like a full trailer. You would know it. It had Cortana in it. It was pretty rad, dude. It was. I mean, I think it's what you'd expect from.
I might have to
Halo.
Look for it. What streaming is it going to be on?
I think Paramount.
It's going to be on Paramount.
Okay, so that was probably why I haven't seen it.
Anything else we should add to the show?
We miss you, Adam.
Yeah, we miss you, Adam. All right, let's go ahead and do it. I got a segment 1, show and tell.
I don't like it.
I don't blame you. I don't like it either.
Is it another Transformer?
No, it's not. It's in that
G.I. Joe.
It's a Joe. Yeah, it's a Joe.
I saw some pictures of the Alley Vipers, and I'm like, holy crap!
I got those on pre-order, dude. I don't really want to spoil the surprise, but I bought the case that comes with 3 Alley Vipers. Greetings, geeks! Welcome back. It's another episode of This Geek in Comics, Outright Geekers Comic Book Shit Talk Show.
Shit Talk Show!
It's Gomer Taylor, a.k.a. David. Thanks for coming back, Dave. Yeah, I did. I got a Flint. He's pretty basic. Probably the coolest thing is he comes with a gun that has articulation built in.
Ooh.
So it's like you can reload the shotgun.
His shotties.
That's nice. That's nice. He comes with a sidearm here.
Does he also come with a PSA where he's in the boys' bathroom?
No. He doesn't come with a backpack either, or really a hole access for a backpack, which is odd. It's unique for these figures.
Did he come with a backpack as the original figure?
I don't know, but he came with a hole for backpacks.
Well, all the Joes had that.
But he doesn't, which is unique. His vest covers it, but his beret, his little black beret comes off.
Oh.
That's nice.
So he can get down on hand and knee and propose to Lady J.
And it's got a nice... Oh, it didn't do it. It snaps. It didn't snap that time. Fuck off. Flint, very cool character. Very fun figure. Can't wait to get my Extreme Set dioramas, dude. I'm so excited. I'm going to do a video for them, too. Hopefully, they'll send me some freebies. Anyway, what'd you guys do this week? Anything cool?
I did finally get around to watching the first episode of Peacemaker.
Oh, how's that? I haven't picked that up yet. I'm waiting for the whole thing to be there so I can get a month of HBO. And
it was pretty fun. I just watched the first episode, and it was funny.
Yeah.
And James Gunn is directing it, so they are kind of leaning into the whole like this is like stupid but endearing. That thing he specializes in.
Sure.
So yeah, it was a fun first episode. His dad is a real piece of shit, and
that's what I've heard. The memes are awesome. And Dave wants to talk about this Kickstarter dream come true. It made its money back times 4.
It made its money back like within 15 minutes.
Yeah, it is amazing, dude.
So basically, Cool Mini or Not has put out their 50th Kickstarter, which is the Marvel Zombicide Kickstarter. You play as superhero zombies in it, devouring civilians, and you have non-zombie heroes fighting them.
What is the name of it?
It's called Marvel Zombies, but it's It's Zombicide for Marvel Zombies.
I think I found it. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
But they have
everybody can see.
The two offerings they have that you get with the Kickstarter are essentially the regular heroes, and you have the X-Men Resistance, which has a really cool thing in it where they show Jamie Madrox is a bunch of zombies.
Yeah, it's rad.
They have the Galactus.
Look at that thing, dude. Look at that thing.
That is the tier I'm in right now.
I could probably make it bigger.
That has an interchangeable head. Cool Mini has done very large miniatures in the past, and this one is
is really cool. But I wish it wasn't monochrome.
You can paint it.
They'll paint it.
I'm sure, but I don't know.
I feel like
image. I'm not excited about having to paint it myself. I guess that makes me,
No, you won't.
Outside of the audience.
They paint it, don't they?
No, they don't paint that. You
got to paint it your fucking self.
If you're into tabletop miniatures and wargaming and stuff, this isn't a big deal.
I know, but I recognize that
like
I'm somewhat unusual as somebody who plays a lot of D&D and doesn't give a shit about figurines.
I'm not crafty, dude.
Still.
I'm just not crafty.
Well, if you're not crafty, you don't have to worry about painting them. But
it's just a big purple guy.
It's a big purple guy. Yeah, it's Barney the dinosaur going, "Oh, you eat me. We're a zombie family."
But the actual sculpt itself is pretty rad. Like
it's
the look there,
cool, dude. And like it said, it made like billions of dollars.
It's awesome. Already, as it shows, it's at $5.7 million or $5.3 million, and you get Zombified Electra. And it's 4 days from now it ends.
Awesome.
So
you got in on that.
I got in on the big one.
Wow.
So there is talk.
Bro. You want to go out? You want to get some coffee?
Well, I knew this thing was coming, and I put money away for it. So
let's do news. Are you done talking about this awesome thing? It's more like bragging now at this point.
Well, they're talking about there potentially could be one additional add-on box that you'd have to be extra that you can add to the purchase, but they're talking about a Spider-Verse box.
Well, so now it's not really incentives then.
Well, they have like other boxes you can buy. They have a Fantastic Four box.
Aren't incentives added in for free?
Yeah, those incentives are being met right now, but they've got other boxes you can get.
I'd assume that Spider-Man would be one of the first ones you get, but is this like other Spider characters? Or?
This is supposed to be other Spider characters like Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen and maybe a couple of Agent Venom and stuff. It's rumored that now it hasn't appeared yet, but that's the rumor.
I want one. All right, let's do news. Man, that's a pretty good week for news. We did talk about this last week, but Dave, you're a much bigger fan of Godzilla and Kaiju. They announced a spin-off series at Apple TV.
This is the one involving the monster universe, the legendary verse.
It's following. It is in the MonsterVerse, yes. Following the thunderous battle between Godzilla and the Titans that leveled San Francisco and the shocking new reality that monsters are real, the series explores one family's journey to uncover the secrets and Monarch and all that. So it's going to take place after the events of 2014's Godzilla,
but before the events of King of the Monsters,
of everything else,
and Kong,
everything else. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that as a Godzilla fan?
If I had Apple TV, I would be excited for this, and I might have to get
Apple
it.
TV. It's not like I can't get Apple TV. No, you can go buy Apple TV.
I will think about it.
$6 a month or something.
Dude,
so.
it's the best bargain too. It's got a lot of cool shows, man.
I mean,
it's got a lot of cool shows. It's a good bargain for a month or two.
Maybe after this whole Legend of
Maybe
Vox
after
Machina
I
thing.
pay off the mortgage, the second mortgage I had to get to buy this Galactus fucking Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But the time frame, like I figured, had to be that, right? Because after King of the Monsters, and
it's so convoluted.
Well, but people are all
gone.
People are all like pretty cool on Godzilla after King of the Monsters, So
yeah,
that takes away a lot of your drama.
Well, I think they were pretty cool after Godzilla.
They reached the point where it's like, we've learned to live with Godzilla. Just as long as we don't like build Mecha Godzilla, he won't come and bother us. But then,
they went and built Mechagodzilla.
Classic mistake.
Dumbasses. All right, some back to other news, comic book news. That's coming out. There's no date yet for that. It has a series order though at Apple. There were some Judgment Day teasers released. This is leading up to the big Avengers versus X-Men versus Eternals. Speaking broadly, I'm pro hubris, but how on earth do you think we're going to make a god in a few hours? Tony Stark. And that's what these are, just 3 different quotes from 3 different members of those teams. This to me seems like they're going to awaken their home where they're living, the big celestial.
Probably. I mean, that's presumably the source of beef they have with the Avengers. That they're living in actually in the Eternals last week, they actually did like directly set up a conflict with the Avengers, but you got to figure that they're not super cool about them living in the hollowed out corpse of their god. So
yeah, sure, right. And then we get this one from Druig, the Eternal. For 1 million years, Earth has been protected from the deviants, but we made a mistake. We missed the mutants. So that's a direct statement of war, right there. That's kind of interesting. And then
I was wondering how the hell the X-Men had anything to do with this. Yeah. So
they do. There was a what if story, but it had a backup story that was like Lost Tales of the Marvel Universe. That is technically canon. That does sort of allude to the fact that when the Celestial, whatever, progenitor, whatever his fucking name is, they all have weird names. Thanks, Kirby. He created humans with the X gene in them. Okay. You know what I mean? You know how like they created deviants, then they created Eternals, then they changed like apes or whatever, Neanderthals.
It's easy to lose track of just how many like human offshoot species from alien meddling, there are, because that's the Inhumans. That apparently it's the X-Men.
I'm going to get to that in a minute, but either way, with these teasers, that's definitely a declaration of war. And then we have Irene. There will always be war. That's the one thing we can always be sure of. That's funny because she's can tell the future. That's sort of a lame one. It feels like the X-Men are being pulled into this just because they're like the really popular ones right now. But is it going to be another decade of just event after event where we're all fighting? The good guys are all fighting each other. I mean,
we can probably expect it to come up at least once every 3 to 5 years.
Man, that's nuts, dude. It seems like it's the same thing over and over. Devil's Reign is literally doing that sort of same thing that Civil War did. It's doing it differently. It's got a different tone.
Well, that doesn't have hero v hero, which is what you're talking about here.
Sure, but it still feels like
you're wrong about that. But anyway, a few years ago they did Empire, and that was initially kind of being pushed as like Fantastic Four versus Avengers, but they dropped that really fast, so I don't know if that really counts. The last time we properly had hero v hero was Civil War 2, and that was like 5 or 6 years ago now. Oh yeah, that was garbage.
No, we had Inhumans versus X-Men.
That was before.
Oh,
God, that Avengers versus X-Men was like.
That was before Civil War 2, because that's what Civil War was all about. That one Inhuman, right?
Yeah, the dude who Ulysses.
Yeah. I can't believe you remember that shit. That event was so bad.
I just remember him for having like a dumb name mostly, but oh well.
But I don't know. And again, I get what you're saying with Devil's Reign. It's not really the same thing, but it kind of feels the same when the Fantastic Four are in jail, when 2 members are breaking.
Okay, sure. Heroes being, it definitely has like the heroes are being persecuted angle of Civil War, but it doesn't have the hero v hero angle.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what this is going to lean into. It's got to lean into that where oh god, these heroes got it so bad because they're heroes.
Well, it seems like they're just going entirely on the like, here we come up with an excuse for these teams to fight each other. They're going to fight each other type of thing. I don't know if it's going to be too much of that other thing.
But it is Kieran Gillen writing the overall story, so it is probably going to be more Eternal centric, which is fine. But I'm sure there's also going to be a shit ton of tie-ins. Aaron. It's an event. Aaron's going to get in on it. The X-Men, the main book, I would expect it to get over, into that.
I mean, as long as it's the main writers doing it, and like, I trust them to write good stories. We've already seen them like tie into events and do a good job of it,
Yeah. I mean, you're the only one reading Eternals.
Yeah, I believe I am.
I mean, I don't know. Is it leaning into this at all? I mean, you said there was sort of a thing with the Avengers last week, but I don't know.
The main thing they're dealing with in Eternals right now is that like Thanos got elected president of the Eternals, basically.
And he's an Eternal.
Yes, and so that's what they're dealing with.
Yeah, that's Billy Badass.
We kind of wrapped up a subplot of that last issue, and they were like going to talk to Ajax, and Ajax, hey, that's cool and everything. Let's go kick the shit out of the Avengers. And it just seems like we're kind of veering into that now instead.
Oh. Well, all right. Well, we'll talk about that when we get more. Again, it's real early. That's a summer event, so we're talking at least 2 months.
While we're dumping on Civil War 2, like the whole premise that like, hey, we found this guy who can see the future. Oh, okay. Should we like get him together with like the 17 other people we know who can see the future?
It's weird, dude.
Yeah.
Let's form a consensus.
Yeah, I mean that's not a unique thing in the Marvel universe. They're dime a dozen.
Sense to me.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, that was Bendis on his last legs, man.
Man, that was a bad note to go out on.
Yeah. All right. DC announces, and these are all TV tie-ins. Earth Prime. Earth Prime is a 3-month, 6-issue event set entirely in DC's popular hero TV shows.
So it's an Arrowverse comic line?
It's an Arrowverse comic line. Dude, I've been saying they should have done this for years.
It just does seem like something that they should have been doing by now. Yeah, I mean,
it seems capitalized on that popularity.
It seems like such low-hanging fruit. And yeah, David's right. I think that we've passed their prime at this point.
Yeah, Earth Prime, not no pun intended.
Oh yeah, no pun intended there. But yeah, the salad days of the Arrowverse are probably behind it now. Like Flash doesn't seem to be as popular as it used to. Arrow itself is ended for a few years now.
Yeah, and they're talking about this being the last season of Flash as well. So it's kind of like, let's get in while we still can. What do you?
They're striking while the iron is ice cold.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Still, it's pretty cool if you're a fan of that.
Yeah, that's cool
stuff. I'm not really a fan.
It's a cool thing to have, but it does beg the question: why didn't you do this before?
Yeah. So each of the first 5 issues spotlights a different CW DC superhero, and the 6th is going to be a crossover finale. Ryan Wilder is
essentially it's just the same thing they're doing in the television series.
Yeah, exactly. This is co-written by series writers Natalie Abram and Kelly Larson. Series cast member Cameron Johnson is also doing some writing. And art is by Clayton Henry, and then Superman and Lois in the second one. Now, this show just kind of started, with their kids. It's
relatively young, yeah.
It's in the first or second season, and I watched a couple episodes. It's solid. It reminds me of like Smallville, the sequel, in a way,
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not to say that like the Arrowverse shows have gotten bad. I'm just saying like
they've been around for a while.
I feel like they've gone past their peak popularity.
Yeah, for sure. This is Jay Jameson. Series writers Adam Malinger, Jay Jameson, and Andrew Wongjoy. DC fan favorite artists Tom Grummett and Norm Rapman. Damn, that is a lot of creators on one book. In a story spotlighting Clark and Lois' first anniversary. So there you go. How is it their first anniversary? I guess it's going to be a story because they got kids.
Isn't that their 2 teenage kids?
Like teenage kids with like weird powers themselves. So, all right, so that'll be cool. I have been saying this for a long time. Comics should take more advantage of the popularity of shit going on the screen and have tie-ins to those universes filled in. Marvel has done it very little. Just
I mean, you see things like the current Nick Fury in the Marvel comic universe is Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury.
Sure.
They replaced old Nick Fury. So they do that.
Well, and they didn't really replace him. That was just like the ultimate one kind of brought over.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of, not literally the one brought over. It's like his son is like the explanation they're using. Yeah.
But I mean, like, there were direct adaptations, stories taken out of the MCU that Marvel did. You know, very few and far between. But DC really hasn't done much of this shit at all. And it's about time they did. They should be taking advantage of that stuff. No, it's been 50 or 40 fucking years. We just now got Batman and Superman from the 80s. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, with like finally, Batman 88 and like Superman 79 and all that.
Yeah. Double dose of Daredevil news. Daredevil or Devil's Reign Omega will come out. It's going to be Zdarsky, Rafael de la Torre, favorite around here, for actually doing the second best work on a really good book. And more tells stories about the shocking final moments and aftermath of Devil's Reign. So this is coming in May. It's going to be sort of a summary issue after the event, sort of like the cool down.
Like an epilogue.
Yeah, and they do this.
Yeah, this is common enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Inhuck Lee is doing this cover, which is beautiful cover.
It is a nice cover.
And this is all to get ready to kick off a new Daredevil comic by Zdarsky and Checchetto. They're just basically relaunching the title. He's
being pretty consistent with this Daredevil run.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of amazing Daredevil runs, but this is definitely
like pound for pound, Daredevil has had the most good writing.
100%, dude.
But yeah, this is probably suited for people like me who did not read Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run, but are picking up Devil's Reign.
Yes.
And so, 100%. This is they're courting me specifically here, I think, right?
Taylor,
and hey, it'll probably work. I'm liking Devil's Reign. I think he's doing a good work with the character. So yeah, I'll probably pick this up.
Yeah, I loved his Daredevil run. You should really go back and read it.
I should get those volumes.
It's really good. But yeah, this will come out, I think, in June. Yeah, in June. So I'm stoked. I want more Chip and Marco on Daredevil, please. Thank you. All right, another sort of screen shit, and this is fucking crazy, dude. So this is a prelude to the Warner Brothers movie, Flash, the Fastest Man Alive. This April, Kenny Porter and Ricardo Lopez Ortiz will combine the worlds of movies and comics. They act like it's such a big deal in the solicit. It's a 3-issue monthly series that leads up to The Flash, the movie coming out from Warner Brothers. So in this, Barry Allen's world-saving adventure with the Justice League has driven Central City favorite son to become a truly skilled and inspirational superhero. But when a new threat by the name of Girder emerges in Central City, Barry turns to Batman for training. This will be April 26th, 48-page debut. Dude, I don't know about this. This is fucking weird to me, dude.
I mean, it's basically really weird, like kind of a adaptation of the Snyder movies, yeah.
I mean, that's got to be what it is. It's his Batman. It's Batfleck in there.
Yeah, so
that's wild to me.
They did frame Barry as like this like inexperienced rookie, and like we are getting like a close brush to Dark Knight Returns era Batman in the Snyder movies. So yeah, I mean, that could be a dynamic that works. We have like the grizzled vet and the cocky young upstart or whatever.
Well, I don't know, man.
I'm not going to pick it up, but
I'm going to read it. I'm going to check it out. It's only 3 issues, so
the premise could work.
Yeah, I'm excited for that Flash movie, dude.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be okay. But I always have a little bit of concern about something that has spent this long in development hell.
Yeah, they had a lot of disruptions, though. I don't know.
Yes, but it's rare for movies that take this long for them to figure out what they even want to do with it. Yeah. It's rare for those to turn out well,
You're not wrong.
Though that can't happen. Like Deadpool came out, and that was great. That spent a decade in development hell.
I heard there's going to be like 5 Batmans in it. Anyway, last bit of news before we talk about Fett. Tony is going to ask Hellcat to marry him. Chris Cantwell and Angel Unzueta are doing this in Ironman number 20 out in May. I don't know what to think about this. It's weird.
It is because it's not a character that a ship that you would normally associate with you.
Well, she's been a part of the current run on Iron Man. She was there at the very first issue of the current run. So
yeah, even before that, when he was still doing his other stuff.
It's not completely out of left field, but anyone who hasn't been reading that current run on Iron Man, this probably comes as a whoa, what the fuck happened here?
This does come as a whoa, what the fuck? I'm not
like
reading Iron Man, so
it feels like it should be a bigger deal. I don't know. Anyway, fuck that. Boba Fett. Everybody watch Boba Fett?
I did.
Yep.
Boba Fett.
It was an epic episode. It was everything that you look for in Star Wars on the Disney Plus screen. But it wasn't Boba Fett. It was an episode.
Yeah, this was an episode of The Mandalorian. It was straight up an episode of The Mandalorian.
Season 2.5.
No, it's season 3, episode 1. This is what they would have started the next season with.
It's weird because we knew Mando was going to join. All right, as soon as they said we're going to hire some muscle, right? But I was not expecting them to give us. They gave us more lore on Mandalore and Mandalorians and the Night of 1,000 Tears and all of this insane stuff.
Yeah, that was rad as hell. Like
this is like a very Terminator-esque moment in that show.
Sure.
But that's
I had episode like prequels, with droids doing all the fighting, and it's like, wow, the Empire did that kind of shit too,
Yeah, but a lot of this stuff that they're talking about really does tie into like the lost season of Clone Wars.
Sure.
The final episodes take place on essentially Mandalore.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that being tied in.
We also
definitely tied in here.
Yeah, we also got like Boba Fett's like he's like apostate now with his sect of the Mandalorians, as I guess we knew he would be, and we're getting some of the lore on the Darksaber. It has like this mystical.
I had some problems with that.
Yeah,
these Mandalorian don't make any sense. All right, they literally say, "Oh, we're all about unity and solidarity," the opposite of the Jedi. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then the armor's like, well, fuck Bo-Katan and fuck you too, Din. Fuck both y'all motherfuckers. Get out. It's like, wait, what?
Well,
they broke the rules? You motherfuckers deserve to go extinct. You guys are dumb. The spear. Oh, Beskar. We can't use Beskar to make weapons. We got to use it to make armor. Oh, the Darksaber? That's a weapon made out of Beskar. What? What are you talking
Well,
about?
I guess she couldn't very well melt down the Darksaber since it has such like an important.
She also said it was forged from a different type of forging of Beskar.
That would just make better. I don't know.
I do kind of wish that he got to keep his cool spear.
Yeah.
Well, once you got the Darksaber, you don't need no stinking spear.
Fair enough, but he isn't particularly good with the Darksaber.
He's
yet.
not.
That was a cool fight scene.
He's just so bad with it.
Yeah, he injured himself in that opening fight, but that was a cool opening fight. It was cool to see Mando back in action, but I will say this. This should not have been episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. This should have been episode 1 of season 3 of The Mandalorian.
They should have put Boba Fett in it in between the Mandalorian doing his thing. It was just a straight up okay, because what we've gotten used to in this show are these flashbacks where it goes back and forth and it's telling basically two different stories. How we got to where we are and where we're going from where we are right now. It's setting up what's going to happen while telling us how we got to where we are. This did not do that at all. This broke the mold and was literally, like you guys have been saying, an episode of The Mandalorian that just happened to tie in at the end because of some characters.
Yeah, I get from like a timeline standpoint, there is a justification for putting it here, but from a storytelling standpoint, no, I don't think you should have made this episode about Mando.
Would you like to have watched an episode explaining how the Mandalorian got the Naboo starfighter?
Just don't fucking include that then. You have a choice. Like, you could just say, like, hey, I'm here looking for a new ride. While I'm here, sure, I'll help you with this crime syndicate.
You're absolutely right, dude.
You did not have to include it. That being said, I love the Starfighter. That was a really cool, it
was pretty fun. Yeah.
It's a cool,
what if this is the same Starfighter that Anakin used?
I don't. Whatever. Fine.
The Battle of Naboo.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. It's already canon.
We had frickin' Cobb last season, right? Like riding out on Anakin's pod racer engine. So sure, why not? That probably would be along with what they do.
But you're absolutely right, dude. They spend at least 15 to 20 minutes like having an A-Team episode where they've got to rebuild something in order for the rest of the show to happen.
I did like that. But
I didn't mind it, but it's like if you wanted to make this episode about Boba Fett or at least have him in the episode, you could have very easily done it. In order for them to do what they did with this episode, they had to purposely say, no, we're making an episode of The Mandalorian and just calling.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there was an easy way for them to make Boba and Mando kind of like, hey, pal, I'm here to repay your debt. Sounds good, Mando. Let's go kick some ass together, Yeah. But no, we spent all this time doing stuff that was really cool, and I really liked it, but did not progress the plot of this show.
No,
you could have cut out most of this. You could have cut out him visiting the armor, visiting his other, friend, them fighting.
I'm okay with having all that in Mandalorian show.
What about this Halo ring type space station?
Oh, that was dope. It's actually called the Dyson's ring. But yeah,
it was a cool ass looking city. I liked it. I mean, it's basically the setting of Halo, but
it is. But that's called a Dyson's ring. They stole that from actual science.
Yeah, the
same way that Star Trek got the Dyson sphere.
Star Trek has stolen literally everything they've ever done. That's one of the best parts about all that math. They stole that. Dilithium crystals is the only.
But yeah, this was a cool episode of The Mandalorian. Yeah. It was not a good episode of Boba Fett, I guess, is my bottom line about that.
And is that good or bad?
I don't know.
That's good for Mandalorian season 3 because people are wanting it.
Maybe I'm just making a too big a thing about that. Maybe I shouldn't even be thinking of Boba Fett as a separate thing. It really is just a Mando side story anyway.
It's the way it really feels like, because when this show first came out, there were a lot of expectations, because at the end of The Mandalorian season 2, we knew what Fett was doing. He was taking over for a gangster. We were expecting him to do a lot more gangster shit. We weren't expecting him to have all this, dances with Banthas moments with
I do like that.
With the natives. We weren't expecting him to have this kinder, gentler sort of sense to him. Basically hating all of his past life, not wanting to be a bitch for Vader and Jabba anymore. So I get the beef. I get why people are not as excited about this show as they were when it was sort of teased at the end of Mandalorian season 2. But with all of that said, I'm wildly entertained by this fucking show.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the show. And
it is.
I think that it's an unfair criticism for you to say it's not what I wanted it to be. And, I can get that diminishes your enjoyment.
Set us up.
Yeah.
Because he was taking over for a gangster.
It's perfectly valid for that to diminish your enjoyment. I'm just saying that, it's not really a critique on the merits of the show itself. Judging
100%.
Judging based off of the story they're telling and how they're pulling it off, they're doing a pretty good job.
I think so too. I think it's fun. I think it's great.
And honestly,
you've been really kind of quiet.
Addressing the elephant in the room though, there is not a character for Boba Fett to betray based off of the actual movies, There's plenty of Boba Fett in Clone Wars. There's plenty of Boba Fett in the EU. Boba Fett said one fucking line in the original trilogy.
Yeah, I know. The original trilogy. The EU.
The only time we saw him actually do anything, it was getting jobbed by blind Han Solo.
The EU is huge. He does have some moments in the animation.
I get that.
His comics are actually quite good.
Yeah, the comics.
I'm sure that is, but we have long since passed the point where that stuff officially is not canon.
The Marvel comics still count.
Okay, sure, but I'm talking the EU.
The EU. No, that does not count. That does not count at all. But they're still here. If you want to enjoy those, please enjoy them. But
definitely check out Dark Empire 2 when the Boba Fett shows back up.
Jabba's Palace, that whole anthology. But what'd you think, Dave? You've been kind of quiet.
I was just letting you guys talk it out.
Oh, I know. We were too.
I'm not as articulate as you two, but I really did enjoy it. Yeah, it might be the best episode of Boba Fett so far, but it is a great episode of The Mandalorian.
Right.
I call it 2.5.
That works.
Taylor calls it season 3, episode 1.
Surprise! Next episode, Mandalorian dies, and that's it. We're done.
But it does help set up the story for the Mandalorian because he was taking public transportation.
Oh, dude, I know. He's taking the bus.
I was expecting him to open up the case at the end and someone fucking lost the Darksaber.
I was expecting that too. I was.
Yeah, now the TSA rules over Mandalore.
Yeah. I actually wasn't because they ain't got enough time to get into that. This is almost done.
But I did like the fact that we got to see at least a continuation of this Mandalorian enclave.
Yeah.
Even if it is only 2 people.
Now it's just what? That's so dumb. No wonder they're extinct. It's stupid.
But yeah, they're
stupid.
But the thing is like, she was talking about Bo-Katan being a cautionary tale. The thing is, Bo-Katan was given the saber by Sabine, but Sabine didn't win it in combat. She just picked it up in Darth Maul's lair in Rebels.
Yeah.
She figured out what it was early on. She trained with it, and she had a lot of the same issues that the Mandalorian is having.
Lifting it.
But
it seems terrible. Does not seem like a great weapon. That's all I'm saying.
It is.
It can cut through Beskar.
Okay, so David, you're more versed in this than I am, so I'm going to ask you real quick. How is the Darksaber? Is it any particularly better than a normal lightsaber?
It can cut through Beskar.
But can it? I mean, it didn't cut through Mando's Beskar. No, that's how we won in the fight last week.
It did not cut through the Beskar steel. It is.
Well, I thought that was the whole thing. That they said that in that episode that it can cut through Beskar.
It is. She said that Beskar is not meant for weapons. It's meant for armor. But
no, but I thought she said the Darksaber could cut through Beskar.
She said the spear could.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think you might be right, dude.
But when the Mandalorian fought,
so even a better idea.
Moff Gideon
cut it up.
Moff Gideon.
Yeah,
he wasn't able to cut through the Beskar steel or the Beskar spear.
Okay, so that ties back into my question: is it any stronger than a normal lightsaber, or is it just a lightsaber with a fancy name?
I think it's because
you don't know.
I don't know.
Fucking know. Just like me, I don't know shit either.
I don't know if it's any stronger than a regular lightsaber. It's just that it's a religious artifact. It's a religious artifact steeped in Mandalorian history.
Let's get into food news. Let's get into food news.
Yummy.
Boba Fett's dumb. You just ruined it for me. We got. All right, the first one is comic book related. Little Caesars has a Batman pizza.
If I didn't know that was supposed to be Batman's emblem, I probably wouldn't have pieced it together on my own.
I would. I don't think that I can't associate that with a Batman emblem.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be. It's $8 starting January 24th. It's a Batman calzone.
Okay, so I'm paying like $3 more than Little Caesars normally charges for less pizza. That's kind of lame.
It's hot and ready.
They're hot and ready for $5, man.
It's not less pizza. If it's a calzone, they've got the ends of it flipped on each other.
Yeah, the ends are the calzone. It's like a calzone built in, and it comes with sauce. So quit your bitching. It's worth the extra.
All right, whatever.
I mean, compared to having it from Papa John's or Pizza Hut, that's actually a good deal.
Oh, come on, man. That's not. We got a local place that's the bomb.
Little Caesars is. It's cheap and it tastes like it, and that's fine.
It's when the cousins come over.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with hitting that niche, right? Like, it's not particularly good pizza, but it's cost appropriate,
Yeah. When my kids' cousins come over there. Yeah, it does look like an axe. Looks like a fucking battle axe. They'll do this again for when the Lord of the Rings show comes.
I definitely see more of an axe than a bat symbol here.
Yeah. But my axe! You could see that it could with my pepperoni pizza. All right, now the disgusting one. Hormel is giving away a 15-gallon keg full of chili cheese.
Good God.
It's a Super Bowl. That's nasty. I can't.
Yeah.
That is like
fucking disgusting.
This is essentially a very big can of Cheese Whiz.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even Cheese Whiz. It's like pressurized. You have to. Oh, I guess Cheese Whiz is pressurized, but you can't like pump a Cheese Whiz bottle.
Well, this is actually kind of a trend because I actually saw some other places offering kegs, but like it was kegs of water. Smart Water's offering like a 5-gallon keg of water.
That's different. They've been putting like beer in kegs for.
I'm talking about non-alcoholic things now.
I think a keg should be reserved at least for a drinkable liquid.
You can drink this.
You shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Not unless you have a death wish.
All right, so visit HormelChiliCheesecake.com and enter for a chance to win it through February 6th. They're probably going to want you to take pictures and go to the internet. I don't know. Adam, I'm sure, has some gross emoji here that I'm not seeing.
You're gonna.
But yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
Take it to a kegger at a frat party and be like butt chugging it.
Oh my God! Why?
David,
Right.
damn you for putting that image in my head.
See, that's why you're not.
You piece of shit.
That's
Fuck
why
you,
you're not
David.
allowed anymore. Okay, here's the final food news. Okay,
this is the McDonald's secret menu, essentially.
This is the hacks, the 4 fan-inspired fan hacks starting nationwide. You can order these, okay? But first off, they are not combining them for you.
Well, that's how you had to do the secret menu anyways. Right. If you wanted a McGangbang.
Come on. They don't have one called the
Which one of those is the McGangbang?
There is not a McGangbang gangbang.
The McGangbang is essentially where you take a double cheeseburger and a $1 double cheeseburger and a $1 chicken McChicken sandwich, and you split the cheeseburger in two.
Cake stand with the cheese whiz.
And you take you split the cheeseburger in two, and you sandwich the chicken sandwich between them. That's a McGangbang.
All right, well, they don't have that. All right, so you order these, and we're combining things. It's a hellspawn gestalt of nasty. All right, it's like a combiner.
So is that just like chicken McNuggets on like a burger there?
We're getting to that. We're getting to that. They have the directions here.
Oh Lord.
The hash brown McMuffin is you get an egg McMuffin with cheese and a hash brown, and you slam them together. Okay,
that seems reasonable.
I was about to say, that sounds fucking dope. Okay, that sounds delicious.
I mean, I don't think I'd eat any of those like individually, but yeah, that seems like a pretty solid combination.
I would so do that. Okay, that sounds fucking delicious.
So you have to get the app.
It looks good too. Yeah, you have to do it on the app.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. You got to. There's always selling something else. Okay, so that's called the hash brown McMuffin. Okay, the next one is the crunchy double. All right. This is.
I can see that.
We're spending a lot of time on this, but this is really important. This is peak fast food here. Okay, this is wildly important.
Okay, this one also seems okay. You know, just putting McNuggets on your burger, that seems okay to me.
Really,
putting McNuggets
I would be
on
better
your
with
chicken
fries.
I mean, the thing is, though, for a lot of these, I'd be okay just eating them separately.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, what are you doing? Are you like really busy? And it's like, oh shit. I ain't got time to dunk my nuggets. Let me pour the barbecue sauce on them. And
if anything, that would take longer, you know?
Well, yeah, true. If you have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Sure. I would rather have fries than chicken nuggets.
McDonald's fries are nasty.
Fries. What?
McDonald's fries are nasty.
Oh, just relatively speaking to everyone else's. On their own, if there were no other fries anywhere, they would be the best. Okay,
well,
this next one is the surf and turf.
Now this is closest to a McGangbang right here.
Yeah, this is close to a McGang.
I bet they just couldn't put the McGangbang on the app because they don't like the name of it. But
yeah, well, you can't do it. McDonald's you can't have the same menu that has a Happy Meal with a toy and a because you're going to get them confused. A Happy Meal sounds like a McGangbang.
I want the McGangbang Happy Meal.
Okay.
Yeah, I want a toy.
Okay, but like for this one, if you just forget about that middle layer of bread, I feel like it would be better.
No, they have to put the middle layer of bread. The thing about the middle layer of bread is you're going to want to order the Big Mac middle layer of bread. You know what I mean? It's thinner. Yeah. It's like not crust on any side. It's like bread on both sides.
Why didn't they just put a Big Mac in here instead of a double?
Because of the sauce. The sauce. You can't have both sauces. You want tartar sauce and fucking
Thousand
Islands Big Mac sauce, dude. That's disgusting. No one is ever going to do that.
But they do it with the land, sea, and air.
No, this one's disgusting. Okay, because first of all, where's the air here? Dude, chickens ain't fucking flying.
The chicken.
Chickens don't fly, bro. What?
By process of elimination, that has to be the chicken because C's obviously the fish, and the cow is the land.
Ronald McDonald ain't out there shooting chickens out of the fucking sky.
I know that chickens can't fly.
He leaves that to the Hamburger.
By process of elimination. I mean, what else? I mean, it gets a better ring than like land, and sea, right?
Yeah, land squared.
2 if it by land.
Yeah, 2 if by land. Dude, that is a much better name for one of these combination sandwiches. The whole build by hand thing is ridiculous. We need to start paying these people more money. so that they will be able to take on the responsibility
of
creating my surf and turf. Yes, of creating the McGangbang.
I mean, honestly, these are getting worse as we go from left to right. The first one, that seems like a pretty good idea.
Delicious.
The second one looks fine. The third one,
delicious.
The third one and the fourth one just look like a big old mess to me. It is not worth it to build your sandwich that way.
It's like someone's going to do it for a TikTok video.
I would probably try the first one and the third one.
No, I don't want the fish on the
The one I'm most likely to get would be the second one, but the first one would be good if I liked McDonald's as breakfast food.
I don't mind their breakfast. All fast food breakfast is fucking nasty. Sonic maybe. It's fucking burritos though. How do you fuck up a burrito? All right. Taco Bell having breakfast is just like end times. Like it was in Revelation. Okay.
And lo and behold,
breakfast burritos, dong. So yeah, there you go. Order them by name, waffle. And then you have to build them yourself, kind of like a food model kit. But this is peak fast food, y'all. Yeah. No moment of destruction again this week. Adam is really ruining my mojo there. Let's get into the top 3. Let's talk comic. I think Dave should go first. He missed last week.
You're on the spot, Dave.
Yeah, you're on the spot, Big D. Honorable mentions and numero trace, amigo.
Mention number only one this week. It's the Human Target number. I think this is 3.
It's 4.
It's 4.
It is 4. That's on my
beautiful
list.
Art in that.
Yeah, great art. Smallwood did a really good job. Just
always.
Ice and Blue Beetle are flying across the country fighting various things that just too small for the Justice League and
slipping through the cracks.
Yep. It was just a good story. Excellent artwork.
With all the heroes, you expect there to be no crime.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense.
But people, in the world of superheroes, everybody's still committing crimes.
Everybody out and about.
We got to keep this industry going somehow.
Yup.
Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and give you my number 3 pick, and it's a surprise because I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Is the X Deaths of Wolverine number 1?
Oh man, that is my number 1 book of the week. So we can just talk about it right here, right now. Taylor, did you put this on your list at all?
Yeah, it's my number 3.
Because
wow.
Okay, so I don't follow the X-Men a whole lot, but because of you guys, I kind of know that Moira Matagat is
I love how you say it. It's so hot.
But she apparently she's lost her mutant ability to reincarnate.
This all happened in Inferno.
Mystique shot her with a "you're not a mutant anymore" bullet.
Yeah, it's more of like a ray, but yes.
But it's basically her trying to dodge being assassinated by Mystique.
It's action packed, and then Valkyrie
shows that. Well,
that's pretty rad.
No, she didn't show up for no reason. Moira
works at the hospital.
She works at the hospital, and they were
Moira went to her specifically. Yeah.
But Moira, Mystique, and Valkyrie fighting it out in a hospital, and apparently, like a government secret agency is now interested in Moira.
That's building up in X-Force and other X books, but mostly in X-Force, also by Benjamin Percy, which I loved that he's sort of bringing that into the mix. It was very well done.
And I don't understand the premise behind this Warlock, Douglock, Wolverine entity, and I'm not understanding why Moira's got a Douglock hand.
The reason she's got a Douglock hand is because Destiny and Mystique literally tore her hand off to remove a tracking device that Xavier and Magneto had in there so that they could get over on everybody. And they did end up getting over on everybody in Inferno. That was
except for Doug.
Except for Doug. Doug saves Moira's life, gives her that shit, that arm, so that he could basically keep tabs on her, but also to do her.
Also, I actually believe him when he's saying he's just like, I figured you could use a hand.
Exactly. It's a little bit of both, but yes.
Because I didn't follow anything on Inferno, but it
turns out
this is a direct follow-up to it, and I do not understand how you got anything out of this book without reading Inferno first,
it was
honestly.
Action-packed.
It
was. So yeah, as like an espionage thriller, this was a lot of fun.
I was about to say it's kind of like a spy noir.
Yeah. Agreed, 100%.
2 things hold it back for me, though.
Go ahead.
First, it is ridiculous, the idea that Mystique would not just instantly be cremated by Valkyrie in a fight. What's this Valkyrie being like, I'll hold her off as long as I can? You mean indefinitely? She doesn't stand a chance at a fight against you.
Yeah, I agree.
They are really overhyping Mystique, I think, a little bit.
If Valkyrie gave it all, she'd turn her into pulp.
Sure.
But she would hold back, and I believe that Mystique, in Valkyrie holding back, would be able to evade.
Okay, I could buy that. Like, Mystique is like someone hunting you. Yeah, that's a legitimately scary proposition. And they're using it to good effect here. Because, she could be anyone, she could be anywhere. But, like, the idea that, like, okay, once Valkyrie has, like, sniffed her out and they're fighting, it's done. Mystique stands no chance in that situation.
Yeah. 100%.
The other thing holding it back to me, though, is I don't get the whole Wolverine thing. I'm sick of, like, being thumbed along here, I want to know what the fuck is happening in either of these books.
Because I don't know if this is like something created from Krakoa itself or what.
No,
this is new.
Brand new.
Even if you've been following all the X-Men stuff, this is brand new. I don't know what to tell you.
This is brand new. Now, what's going on in X Lives of Wolverine tied into this, but only at the very end.
Yeah,
and it did it very well, and it held up to the same thing that X Lives was doing, which is not giving you all of the information at once. We're not really sure why Omega Red is truly hunting Xavier through time. We have an idea that it's because of his resurrection.
Well, we get why he's pissed, but we don't know like how he's doing this, and we don't know like why Xavier specifically. But yeah, I mean, and those are fine. And I'm sure later on when we do know what was going on, I'll probably be able to enjoy this more. But for now, it's just like, what the huh? As I'm reading
it feels like Hickman light.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, because the things that are happening that are wanting us to question the future are not as enticing, as satisfying, or quite frankly, as cool as what Hickman gives us in the same context. You know what I mean? But still, dude, I had a fucking blast with this. I was not expecting it to be a Moira story. I was not expecting it to be a direct spin-off.
Like I said,
and that was pretty cool. It's cool that we're following up with that.
I'm not following a lot of X-Men, but because of you guys, I do pick up issues every now and then just to read them. And I was just like, this is a lot better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I was blown away. The art by Federico Vicentini was spot on. The action, everything was in motion. Everything was moving. Everything was just perfect, dude. Look at this. I mean, everything is in motion. I had such a great time reading this comic. It's hard to disagree with what Taylor said, but if I'm entertained along the way, I'm willing to wait for those reveals,
And that's fair enough. I mean, I'm probably being impatient, but
and like reading number 3, so it's not like you chat all over it. So.
Yeah, reading this issue this week, it was a little frustrating, but I'm sure once it's like a full story, that'll be great,
Yeah. And I love the way it crossed over with X Lives right there at the end. Like, oh shit, these are obviously they sent this Wolverine from the future to stop them from doing whatever Wolverine is doing right now, which is jumping into the past to save Xavier. And it's like, oh, yes.
Oh, this is
feels so X-Men,
This is like movie Days of Future's Past.
X-Men. Yeah. Cool, I'll go. I'll mention Saga, of course. My favorite panel is the bum need money for drugs.
I'm sure Saga would be in my list.
I need money for beer.
I love it. Love it.
Waiting for the trade on this one.
Just perfect. Just a fun issue. I mean, this book picked up exactly where it left off. And you can't get better than that because it was already just amazing. But again, I do not put
Saga
books
in your
on
top.
the list.
Such a contrarian.
They're retired. They're just so good. Black Panther was great. The best part about this, and the only reason I'm mentioning it, the story continued well, but Gentle, who is a Wakandan mutant, is in this, and he picks a fight with T'Challa when T'Challa goes to visit Storm on Mars. And it turns out throughout this book, T'Challa has been trying to tell these secret agents that he's had, black ops in hiding, deep undercover, telling them, hey, we're cutting this off because you guys know, people know what's up. It turns out that Gentle was one of those in Krakoa. That Black Panther, T'Challa had a spy in Krakoa. And I was like, oh, shit, that was cool.
Of everybody that in the world that could have a spy in Krakoa, I would have thought that Black Panther would have done it.
Right? Yeah, it was like, cool. But it was a three-peat for X-Men for me this week. Marauders Annual number 1, the only one, is my number 3 pick. Steve Orlando Creasley, solid introduction to this new team, pushed everything right along. Perfect art. I love this shot of Kate here. Just wonderful. Here's a whole shot of the team, going into action. New ship introduced, just solid comic booking. I'm excited for Orlando's run, and this got us into the pool. I'm ready to go into the deep end now because they're really going to start focusing less on the whole trade thing and more on the stopping human trafficking, helping mutants out. So yeah, great book, great issue.
Well, something that's interesting about it is it's kind of also bringing up something that we ourselves have talked about, which is, is it kind of shitty what the mutants are doing, right? Because they are basically throwing aside the idea of coexistence, the idea of equality. Yeah. And they addressed that in that book.
They did it through the dumbest character ever, though.
They did. It's kind of like what you were saying back when we were talking about like Falcon and Winter Soldier, where like they have the character just be a total piece of shit. So that like you don't like necessarily empathize with the point they're trying to make. But this was like one of those like straw man has a point, type of moment.
Xavier's kind of cast away his dream of humans and mutants, coexisting by going to Krakoa. At least that's one way you could look at it.
Yeah, and that's an understandable interpretation, though.
I mean, I guess, but I guess this dude's got some Morlocks and shit hanging out and stuff, and other humans who shared in that dream but are now haters. So, yeah, it worked, but I'm ready for shit to get real with Marauders, in Orlando's run. But yeah, this was a solid issue. I liked it. Number 3, Taylor.
All right. I guess I'll just do my honorable mentions real quick. We already talked about my number 3. Devil's Reign number 3 continues to be, a fun read.
I had it on my honorable mentions as well.
I did like seeing like Luke Cage start up his mayoral campaign here. It turns out Ironman was the chameleon who apparently got his hands on an Ironman suit. And, we got to see like the multiversal Doc Ock here. Well, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, they were in the whatever book, the Doc Ock book.
Oh, I didn't read that. And apparently,
it was
all right.
You could definitely skip it, dude. It's not very good.
So that was fun.
But they're great in this, and Chichetto drawing them just is awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was a good issue. Just a lot going on in there, and I'm not following all of Devil's Reign, so I didn't realize
the main series is enough, dude. I've read number 1 of all the tie-ins so far, except the Winter Soldier one. I didn't pick that one up.
I didn't pick that one up this week. Yeah. I also enjoyed Avengers Forever number 2.
I think I have that
it's
cover.
Basically Robbie is being tortured by the Black Skull, and not much really happens in this book.
Nothing happens. It's so hard for me to get in. I really want to get into this book, but it's hard, dude.
It was a good little character vignette for the Black Skull.
Yeah.
We got to see what a twisted piece of shit he is. Although, kind of like what I was talking earlier about Mystique being propped up, a fucking Venom symbiote should not stand a goddamn chance against a Ghost Rider.
With the fire. The fire. And the car coming to save him, I loved that. But there were moments, but it's like, man, it's hard for me to get into that book.
That's fair. Definitely not in like top 3, like stratosphere there, but
sure.
Anyway, so we already talked about my number 3, X-Deaths of Wolverine, number 1. Love that cover. Just absolutely love that cover, by the way.
Or maybe 10 Deaths?
I don't know. Whatever it is.
Dave, a number 2.
My number 2 is going to be Saga 55.
Good choice.
Saga's always a solid read, and I
really need to talk about what happened. It's like,
no, I mean,
because it's just everyday shit, but then it's just like it's
everyday
Saga,
Yeah, everyday shit in extraordinary circumstances.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
I don't know how I like the new dynamic with this Bombazaza guy or whatever.
I'm okay. He seems fun. He gonna die eventually. They all do.
Every character in Saga is eventually gonna die, but I like the dynamic between the Will and Gwendolyn, and
of course,
I'm really pissed at the Will right now.
Full frontal.
Yeah, I'm really pissed.
I mean, spoiler for something that happened like 5 years ago. Yeah, last issue he killed a major character. That was the big stinger we've been living with for years now.
But he decided to bring the skull of Marco, and that was not. I
wasn't saying the name. Okay, David.
It was creepy, dude.
It is
sexy, creepy.
And Gwendolyn's like, "Oh wow, you just saved my political career." So
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So solid issue. Solid issue. That's really all there's to say because I mean it's just
artwork,
moving along.
Fiona Staples,
Saga's
no
always
wrong. Brian
good.
K.
I
Vaughan
mean,
can do no wrong.
There's like nothing we can say about it that hasn't already been said, and I get that that's frustrating. Like when I didn't particularly like have a lot of fun doing Immortal Hulk over and over again because after a while it's like it's still good.
Exactly, dude. Exactly.
But
so yeah, I get that, but recognize
it's been such a long time since we've had Saga, and it just
that's
needs
true.
to be recognized.
And
I want to know more about these spaghetti burritos.
Oh man, it sounds delicious.
That sounds like a good idea, actually. I'm surprised no one does
I used to make spaghetti sandwiches back in the day.
I saw a thing in a comic one time where it was like people put pasta on top of a pizza. And it's like, oh, do people not already do that?
It's delicious. Sounds so good.
There's
at the
two
bar,
Italian flavors that
at the bar, like a lot of times they'll have pasta. You know, if you go to like an all-you-can-eat buffet, pizza buffet, they'll have pasta too. Yeah, I do that shit all the time. It's delicious.
Giving your pizza extra sauce.
Mwah! My number 2, again, it's all X-Men for me this week. X-Men number 7.
This is my number 1.
Dude, just an amazingly solid issue. Great art. A fun story revolving around the resurrection protocols and how Cyclops dies like in public so they can't bring him back. But it's the art that shines, dude. Look.
Yeah, absolutely. This
my gosh.
This breathtaking art from beginning to end. It was a cool building up of a villain we've been introduced to.
Dr. Stasis.
Yeah, that's a stupid name, but
I love the name. I think it's a cool name.
He's really effective, though, in this issue, regardless of how you feel about his name. Like, he does manage to kill Cyclops, and he does so intentionally in a very public place.
To try to get over on the resurrection protocols.
Yeah.
Almost like he's doing an experiment, because he wishes to see if you remember this.
It's really effective villain stuff, right? Because, like, we can see that he's putting the pieces together, and he had, like, his whole, like, magnificent bastard thing going on, where he seemed to have everything planned out perfectly. And I like his kind of, like, disarming casualness with the way he talks to people,
Yeah. You think it's somebody we know, or you really think it's somebody new?
I don't know. I mean, if it is somebody we know, then it would have to be like someone who's not a mutant, because then they would just already know about all this,
right?
So I don't know.
That's another thing. You're telling me an entire island, millions of mutants, and nobody spilled a beans? Nobody's on Instagram.
I mean, this is also an island where, like, they could probably put, like, psychic blocks on you trying to share this information out.
Sure. Oh, yeah. There's probably somebody.
I mean, they're obviously okay with mind wiping people.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that whole idea, the whole mind wipe, worldwide mind wipe, that's my 100% my idea for how to get the X-Men into the MCU. Just they've been there the whole time. The first 30 minutes of the X-Men movie could be clips of like the Battle of New York, the Battle of Wakanda, where mutants are just there fighting. You can even have like the Avengers fighting with the X-Men, like against the Brood in space. And Xavier just mind wipes everybody on the planet.
I mean, that could work, but I feel like they should just like try not to overcomplicate it. Just like don't come up with an elaborate
explanation. I don't think that's complicated at all. I think that's the simplest way to do
it. I think we've seen what happens when we have a group of superpowered individuals not get involved in the MCU.
The simplest way for them to be there is for them to be there, for them to just like be like, hey, we have mutants now. And
but the thing
is, and start from like the
let's see the beginning of the mutant thing.
Yeah, I think we've seen all that.
But we do have an end now with the multiverse.
True that.
Irregardless, I also like from this issue we get like Sync getting some power creep going on here.
There's a weird thing happening with Sync in terms of Omega level mutantdom and the definitions.
Yeah, he seems to be ascending in a lot of ways. Yeah,
if he's able to, basically what Sync does is he is a magnet for mutant powers. He is basically like Rogue, but to the nth degree. And doesn't steal their powers. It's more of like a borrowing of their powers. So
now, is it got to be in proximity?
Well, that was before. Before he had to be like right next to you in order to do it. But in this issue, he's able to use Jean's powers, even though she's not even on the fucking planet when he does it.
She's off world.
She's on Mars or Morocco.
So here's the thing: is he technically an Omega level mutant when he borrows an Omega level mutant's power?
No, because his power is the ability to borrow, and that is limited by proximity. Or at least it was. If he can borrow from any mutant anywhere in the galaxy or the universe even, then sure, yeah, he's Omega at this point.
See, the definitions of Omega level mutant are really weird though.
But like, imagine a Sync who could be like, whenever I need it, I can just, activate Magneto's powers.
It's like dial H
M
for hero.
Dial M for
almost.
Yeah.
He's got to get his Rolodex. What power could I want here?
You could get him hanging out with Franklin Richards, and then he can just turn into God whenever he wants.
I mean, well, he's not a mutant. Well, I guess it's all powers, though.
I don't know. I don't know if they're eventually going to remake Franklin a mutant or not.
They definitely should. I think that's all put on by Xavier to get over on the Richards.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, Sync is crazy off the charts now, and going to be interesting moving forward. I wonder what's going to happen when we have the Hellfire thing in spring, and they change everything. I don't know. Are they just going to add a
Polaris is going off the team. I think they're probably going to rotate out the first one on the chopping block is whoever won the last election. Like we know Polaris. They've already introduced the idea of Polaris, bowing out of the team soon, and so they're going to replace her with whoever won the recent election. And then maybe there'll be some other reshuffling. I don't know.
Well, that's all of Taylor's books. I think he's got his number 2 maybe to.
My number 2 was Human Target, another thing that has already been mentioned, but I haven't talked about it much yet, so I'll talk about it in a sec.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
Okay, cool. Human Target. I really love this approach to the story. Like, it's a noir type of thing where we're unraveling a mystery, and it's a brilliant setup because basically every issue we are mingling with a different member of Justice League International. We know this time it's Blue Beetle. Last time it was Booster Gold. Last time it was Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
And next time it looks like we're going to be hanging out with John Jones. But
that'll be fun.
I like the way he writes the characters. Ted Cord is like lovably goofy in this. It's a legitimately riveting mystery because, they're doing a good job kind of stringing us along. We're actually making progress every issue. We are getting
whodunit.
We are getting clues. We are inching closer. So it's not just spinning its wheels. And each issue seems pretty fresh because we get to hang out with a new character.
Yeah.
I also like this whole aspect where he is observing all these fights that they're doing. And he's all like, well, it's actually it's just all kind of bullshit, actually. They look like they're really teaming up and getting their dynamic going together. And they did a good job kind of teasing, oh, what's he talking about? But then you get to the end of the issue. Ice didn't need Blue Beetle to be there.
Right.
She could have ended every single one of these fights on her own with ease. But she lets Ted
feel good.
Feel good about himself.
That's cool.
I like the way that they're telling the story. I think this is Tom King at his best. He's playing around with a bunch of action figures and, getting to do his own thing with it.
Yeah.
Tight, man.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think I might be over Tom King. I mean, this issue
maybe, but I'm also the only one who's stuck with Strange Adventures, so I guess take that for what you will.
That's true.
And that was good. I still made it.
All right, those are all our books except for Dave's number 1.
Number 1 is going to be Frontiersman number 5.
Oh, see, I thought for sure you would pull Monstrous out of your ass.
I actually enjoyed Frontiersman number 5 a little more than Monstrous this week.
All right, I don't have that cover, man. Go ahead. Actually skip this. I think I'm going to be off this.
So what's happening is the fallout from issues 3 and issue 4, where issue 3 he kills one of his old nemesis in the tree house, and it was broadcast across the world. Issue 4. An old girlfriend who basically can become a giant woman shows up, and they end up having sex and it gets streamed. Issue 5 is the fallout from this because everybody is starting to converge on the treehouse. Frontiersman's daughter is there. Another group of B-rate supervillains show up to protest the fact that he's protesting deforestation and climate change because they're like, you're no heir to the animal kingdom. There's one guy in there who's called the King of Beasts, and he's just amalgamation of all these different animals put together, and he's just like
a chimera looking dude.
He's a chimera kind of guy. They got this other creature that's it will take out organs and use them for its own means, and they got some monstrous bear. And the most normal one is a Valkyrie looking character. But
I mean, it's imaginative, and I get
it. They all show up, and they get their asses handed to them by this old man.
Yeah.
And he's like, you kids aren't even blips on the radar. You're no way you're my nemesis. And he's like, I hope you got a good shot. But he's also like worried because now he's going to have to face charges for killing the other guy from issue 3. And it's just this crazy.
Oh, hey, Andy, thanks for coming by.
Where everybody who hates this guy shows up to get a piece of this guy. And he sends them all packing, except for the guy in issue 2, where it's like, the Dr. Manhattan type guy who just wants to contact the woman, his girlfriend, or whoever that woman was. But this thing is crazy because even one of the characters in the book is like, how can one person have so many fucking enemies? And why do they keep showing up here?
This book is weird because it's like a throwback, but it's relevant. And I don't know. To me, it feels like it's way too all over the place in terms of its themes. Like, is it trying to be updated, or is it trying to be like updated with this smirk about old people? Is it being respectful to old people, or is it shitting on old people?
I think it changes.
You know what I mean?
I think that dynamic changes from book to book because they're really, like his daughter's really upset with him because of all the stuff that's happening, and it's getting, and she's not happy about the sex being broadcast.
Of course not. But he's doing just what he would have done back in the day.
He's doing all
having
this
sex
stuff.
In the tree was what he used. That was like his thing.
Yeah, but apparently he had retired and gone into hiding.
Yeah.
And now that he's where everybody can find him, everybody that wants a piece is showing up, and they are getting their asses handed to them.
But it's kind of like he's also not ready for the modern world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He is kind of a fish out of water in some circumstances.
Yeah.
But it's just this fun book.
It's all right. I love you. My number 1 was X Deaths, which we already talked about. Fantastic issue. Can't wait we'll be talking about this every week. It may get retired, by the end of the month. So, and then Taylor's number 1 was X-Men, which had just some of the most amazing art in it this week. Love that shot of Wolverine, dude. So great. Awesome books. So, man, I had all X books in my list this week, and I'm so happy I did. Just so good that. And the X-Men are technically off right now, right? While it's building up to Destiny of X. But just 3 just great X books this week. So those are it. Those are our top 3. Man, thanks everybody for hanging out. We really appreciate it. Keep coming back. We're doing another show tomorrow night where we'll talk about crossover number 11. I've actually already read it. It's huge, big, huge reveal. But we're going to talk about all of the new comics dropping later on this week. So definitely come back. Stay tuned to this station later. Comic Book Bullies will be having their show later on tonight. Leroy and Eli talking all kinds of stuff. Eli is very, very upset at Book of Boba Fett because he is just a huge Boba Fett fan. He thought the show was going to go in a different direction. There's still 2 episodes left, so holding out hope.
Don't worry, he'll get his big gangsters versus bounty hunters fight.
We'll see. But for everything we got going on, go to outrightgeeker.com. We got a list of links there to our social media, different stuff, Patreon, just the tip, just $1, merch, all kinds of shit. So yeah, we got all kinds of other videos going on throughout the week. Definitely keep checking us out. Again, thanks to all y'all for hanging out and listening, but most of all, thanks to these jokers for hanging out with this joker.
You're welcome.
We're going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Man, Taylor, so thankful you're here to do it this week.
I mean, you kind of cut me off before I could say anything. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.